Welcome to all of you that are looking at blending teaching strategies, technology, and emerging trends to create engaging educational experiences. Now recently we had a conversation with a colleague that was looking to add in some animation, some motion, something to move around and make those graphics on their Camtasia project look just a little bit better. Well, there's a bunch of tools that will do that within Camtasia Studio, but one that is the easiest to add and gives you the biggest bang for your buck is called a behavior. Now it may sound a little bit weird to use a behavior to get this animation type thing going, but again, it's really easy to add, it's really easy to manipulate, and it makes a big impact. So why don't we take a couple minutes here and show you guys how to actually add these behaviors onto your items within that Camtasia project. So behaviors can be added to individual items or to groups of items. When added to a group of items, it makes the whole group do the behavior at once. Now one quick note is that sometimes it looks like it will cut off the edges of the movement, and if this happens, we just need to right click on the group in the timeline and then resize that group to the canvas size, and then it'll work with no problem. I'm not sure why it does that. I guess it's kind of like one of those group things, but it's an easy fix, so don't let that deter you from using behaviors on groups. Now when playing around with behaviors, we can actually add the motion we're looking for to the beginning, the middle, and the end of an item or group that we decide to put that behavior on. This not only makes it come in and out with a cool effect rather than just that really quick harsh cut and cut, but it also allows us to be able to make things happen throughout the entire time that it's on the timeline. Now don't forget that we can also mix and match these type of things. So you can have something where it has like a fade in behavior, but then in the middle it runs on a jump. And then as it exits out, we can actually have it shrink. It's up to you, so play around with your different options until you find a combination that you like. To insert a behavior, have the item or the group that you want to apply the behavior to on the timeline. Then click on Behaviors in the main menu on the left-hand side of the screen. Find the behavior that you want to use, and in this case we'll use the scale up one, and then drag and drop it on the item in the timeline. Many of the defaults have motions on multiple parts of the item already, so it should be ready to go in some capacity. For example, in the case of using the scale up like we're using, you can see in the properties that both the in and the out have pre-populated options to make the effect work, but the during portion is blank. If we delete the scale behavior out and say add pulsating instead, you can now see that the in, the during, and the out all have pre-populated motion paths. Once we put it on the object, we can play it to see the effect. Now that doesn't look too bad for just a couple of clicks. And basically it's as simple as that. Now you can see over in the Properties tab that we've got a bunch of different options that we can use and play around with to be able to get it to customize to what we need that behavior to do in our actual video. Now it's not going to give us something as powerful as an animation or something like that, but it's definitely going to give us the ability to do more things than say like a transition would. Also, don't forget that you can adjust the type of behavior that's used in each part, so we can mix and match these things to create whatever we want. For example, I like using the pop-up with a boxier type of shape. However, the default has it coming in from the bottom. Now, unless I'm mimicking something like a shooting gallery, I'm not a big fan of that look. I feel like gravity pulls things down from the top, so I'd rather it come in that way than popping up from the bottom. But that's an easy fix. To do that, I just fix the change in the properties from the bottom to the top, and boom! We look at it and we can see it falls from the top now. But wait, what's this bouncing thing happening in here? Now, I'm not a big fan of that either. So again, it's just an easy fix. We head to the Properties tab and look at the During section, and rather than having the default option of popping up, we'll just change that to none so that it takes that weird waving back and forth thing out. Now if we watch it, yeah, that looks better. And then the out portion, I'm good with it falling over, so we'll just leave that one be. And it's as easy as that to get these things adjusted. Just play around with the different options until it fits what you're looking for. Now one last thing we do want to point out is how behaviors play around with text items. Now honestly, I don't use a lot of text animation coming in and out of my videos, So it took me a while to get this one going, because if you look at the thumbnails on behaviors, it looks like it all deals with text. However, as we showed earlier, that's not the case, as behaviors can work with callouts, images, and groups, and other assets as well. However, with text, behaviors do tend to manipulate one character at a time, or at least a few of the characters, and it creates a pretty cool effect. So I'm going to use a fade to show you what I mean, since that one's been pretty universal throughout the various tools. Here, I drag and drop a fade on a callout, and you can see that it basically looks like a transition fade, or when I change the opacity in an animation effect. And see, if I play them side by side, they pretty much look the same. However, if I use a text annotation and then I put the fade on that, notice how the text is coming in with a side swipe rather than the whole element at once. Now that's something that you can't do with transitions, so the ability to bring in textual phrases simply and make it look unique, that's a pretty big advantage of using behaviors. And that's it. That's the nuts and bolts of using behaviors in Camtasia. It's a really powerful tool that doesn't take a lot of effort to add in there. It allows you to manipulate them to make those things in your videos just look a little bit better. So with that being said, I'm curious to see which ones you guys use. I'm really particular of the pop in and the scale in. I don't know why, I just like the effects that those have on the items that I usually put in my videos. But if there's some others out there that are really cool, I'd like to know about them and use them. So if you're using something else or thinking about it, go ahead and pop it down in the comments section, and maybe I'll use those in my videos too. Also, if you have any other questions on behaviors or any of the other tools in Camtasia, go ahead and throw those down in the comments too, because we're all just trying to get better at this tool to see what we can do to improve our classes using it. And lastly, if you like content like this, where we're talking about enhancing your classes using trainings and technology and teaching strategies, be sure to hit that subscribe button, as we'll try to get new content out there to you guys to help make those educational experiences just a little bit better. In the meantime, good luck, keep building, and we look forward to seeing what you guys create.